As August 22, 2025 approaches, the people of Nova Scotia and Newfoundland are on edge, bracing for the arrival of Hurricane Erin. This is the first major storm of the Atlantic hurricane season, and its approach has brought a sense of urgency and anxiety to communities across the region. Meteorologists have been tracking Erin's path for days, and while the exact trajectory remains uncertain, the potential for severe impacts is clear. Erin's immense size and strength have emergency officials and coastal communities on high alert, even though a direct landfall isn't expected. Preparations are underway across the coastline, with emergency crews reinforcing infrastructure, setting up shelters, and urging residents to secure their homes and businesses. The storm's outer bands are already being felt, bringing gusty winds and heavy rain to exposed areas. The main threats from Erin include destructive winds capable of downing trees and power lines, colossal waves that could batter the shoreline, and significant coastal flooding. The timing of the storm is especially concerning, as it coincides with astronomical high tides, increasing the risk of storm surge and inundation in low-lying areas. Residents are being warned to stay away from the coast and to prepare for possible evacuations. Erin has already left a trail of disruption in its wake, causing widespread power outages in Puerto Rico and severe flooding along parts of the U.S. East Coast. Now, as the storm churns northward, its sights are set on Atlantic Canada, threatening to bring similar chaos to communities that are still recovering from past storms. For Nova Scotia, the challenge is even greater. The province is already battling a large, stubborn wildfire that has scorched thousands of hectares of forest. Erin's powerful winds could fan the flames, spreading the fire more rapidly and making containment efforts even more difficult for exhausted crews. This rare convergence of hurricane and wildfire is putting unprecedented pressure on emergency services. It demands a coordinated, urgent response from firefighters, rescue workers, and local authorities who are working around the clock to protect lives and property. The situation is evolving rapidly, and officials are urging everyone to remain vigilant. Authorities are urging everyone in the region to prepare now. Gather emergency supplies, secure your property, and have an evacuation plan in place. Stay informed by monitoring official updates and weather alerts. As Atlantic Canada faces a turbulent and potentially dangerous weekend, putting safety first has never been more important. Hurricane Erin, once a Category 5 monster, has maintained its reputation as one of the most powerful storms of the season. Though it has weakened slightly from its peak, Erin still commands respect and caution from meteorologists and coastal communities alike. At this moment, Erin remains a formidable force with sustained winds near 150 kilometers per hour, strong enough to uproot trees, damage buildings, and cause widespread power outages. These winds are relentless, battering everything in their path and making outdoor conditions extremely hazardous. What truly sets Erin apart is its staggering size. This storm is nearly double the width of an average hurricane. Its massive reach means that communities far from the eye will still experience dangerous weather, with heavy rain, gusty winds, and turbulent seas extending outward for hundreds of kilometers. Hurricane-force winds extend an incredible 165 kilometers from the core, creating a broad swath of destruction. This wide wind field increases the risk of structural damage, downed trees, and flying debris over a much larger area than most storms. Even beyond that, tropical storm-force winds reach even farther, stretching out to impact coastal towns, rural communities, and even inland areas that might not typically prepare for hurricane conditions. As Erin transitions to a post-tropical system, its wind field will actually expand rather than weaken. This means the storm's impact will spread over an even vaster area, bringing strong winds, heavy rain, and dangerous surf to regions that may not expect it. The term post-tropical can be misleading. These storms often grow in size and can still deliver hurricane-force winds, massive waves, and life-threatening surf. Coastal flooding and erosion remain serious threats, even after the storm loses its classic hurricane structure. Erin's history is a stark reminder of its destructive potential. From Puerto Rico to the U.S. East Coast, the storm has left a trail of power outages, severe flooding, and significant beach erosion. Communities have faced days without electricity, impassable roads, and costly recovery efforts. Now, as Erin enters Canadian waters, the message is clear. Take all warnings seriously. Emergency officials urge residents to prepare for the worst, secure property, and stay informed as the situation evolves. This is a storm with the power to reshape coastlines, disrupt daily life across hundreds of kilometers, and leave lasting impacts on communities in its path. Preparation and vigilance are essential as Erin approaches. Forecasts show Erin will pass just south of Nova Scotia and Newfoundland, sparing them a direct hit, but bringing its most dangerous elements close to shore. Its massive size means even a near miss will deliver powerful winds and storm surge to Atlantic-facing coastlines. As Erin transitions to a post-tropical storm, its wind field will expand, increasing the area at risk. The storm's closest approach will bring peak impacts to Nova Scotia on Friday and Newfoundland overnight into Saturday. Communities face more than 24 hours of hazardous weather, testing infrastructure and patience. Unusually, little rain is expected for Nova Scotia, as it sits on the storm's drier western side. The main threats remain powerful winds, high waves, and coastal flooding. Constant monitoring and last-minute preparations are essential. Erin's most widespread threat comes from the ocean, waves up to 10 meters offshore and 3 to 5 meters along the coast. These pounding waves can erode beaches, damage infrastructure, and create hazardous conditions for anyone near the water. Officials warn, stay far from the shoreline, as rogue waves and life-threatening rip currents will be present all weekend. Rip currents make swimming or surfing extremely dangerous. Even wading is risky. Environment Canada urges everyone to stay out of the ocean until the storm passes. A storm surge of up to 1 meter, especially during high tide, could flood low-lying areas, particularly in Newfoundland's Burin and Avalon peninsulas. Residents in vulnerable zones should prepare for possible flooding and take all necessary precautions. The ocean's fury is not to be underestimated. Erin's winds, sustained at 70 to 90 kilometers per h, with gusts surging well over 120 kilometers per h in exposed areas, pose a direct and immediate threat to both property and personal safety. These are not just ordinary breezes. These are powerful, howling gusts capable of causing significant destruction in a matter of moments. The force of these winds can be relentless, battering everything in their path and leaving little time to react. Such intense winds can snap thick branches, uproot even mature trees, and transform everyday outdoor items, like patio chairs, garbage bins, or children's toys, into dangerous projectiles. Flying debris can shatter windows, damage vehicles, and injure anyone caught outside. The risk is especially high in neighborhoods with lots of trees or unsecured objects. Southwestern Nova Scotia and Cape Breton are particularly vulnerable to these intense gusts, with their exposed coastlines and dense forests. Here, the risk of widespread power outages increases dramatically as winds threaten to bring down power lines and damage critical infrastructure. Communities in these regions should be especially vigilant and prepare for extended periods without electricity. As the storm shifts, winds will come from multiple directions, putting extra stress on structures, trees, and utility poles. This constant change in wind direction makes it even more likely for trees to fall and power lines to be knocked down, potentially blocking roads and isolating neighborhoods. Emergency services may have difficulty reaching affected areas quickly. That's why it's crucial for residents to secure all outdoor items now. Anything left unsecured, no matter how small, can become a high-speed missile in these conditions. Take the time to bring in or tie down anything that could be picked up by the wind, from garden tools to decorations. The danger is compounded by saturated ground from recent rains. When the soil is already wet, tree roots lose their grip, making it much easier for strong winds to topple even the sturdiest trees. This combination of wet ground and powerful gusts is a recipe for widespread damage, blocked roads, and hazardous conditions long after the winds subside. During the storm's peak, staying indoors and away from windows is absolutely critical. Flying debris and sudden gusts can shatter glass or cause unexpected damage, so keep curtains closed and move to interior rooms if possible. Your safety depends on minimizing exposure to the storm's fury. The howling wind and rattling windows will be unnerving, a constant reminder of the storm's power. But remember, the real danger is outside. Resist the urge to go out and assess the damage until officials say it's safe. Prepare now, gather emergency supplies, charge your devices, and make sure your family knows the plan. Once the winds ramp up, it's too late to make last-minute preparations. Taking action ahead of time is the best way to protect yourself, your loved ones, and your property from the howling gusts of Erin. Nova Scotia faces a rare double emergency. Hurricane Erin's winds threaten to intensify the out-of-control Long Lake wildfire. Strong, erratic gusts can spread flames unpredictably, endangering containment lines in residential areas. Firefighters are bracing for a volatile situation as the hurricane brings no rain to help. This convergence of disasters is stretching emergency resources and demanding unprecedented coordination. Evacuation orders remain in place, and residents are urged to follow all instructions. The focus: protect lives and property from both fire and wind. It's a stark reminder of how overlapping emergencies can multiply risk. With Erin approaching, personal preparedness is key. Secure all loose outdoor items, furniture, bins, trampolines, to prevent them from becoming projectiles. Prepare an emergency kit with water, food, medications, flashlights, batteries, and a radio for at least 72 hours. Stay informed, monitor local news, Environment Canada, and emergency management updates. Know your evacuation routes and discuss plans with your family. Check on vulnerable neighbors and help them prepare. Once the storm hits, stay indoors and away from windows. Avoid all non-essential travel and never go to the coast to watch the waves. Smart decisions now protect you and first responders. Provincial authorities and utilities are in high gear, activating emergency centers and coordinating response efforts. Nova Scotia Power has pre-staged crews and equipment along the coast, ready to restore power as soon as it's safe. Municipalities are securing public infrastructure and preparing for debris removal. Emergency services have increased staffing and are working closely with provincial planners. The dual threat of hurricane and wildfire is stretching resources, requiring constant communication and strategic planning. Centralized response centers allow for rapid decision-making and resource allocation. The goal: protect lives and property from both fire and wind. As Erin nears, the time for preparation ends. Now, safety is everything. Stay indoors, away from the coast, and resist the urge to watch the storm. Keep a battery-powered radio handy and rely on official sources for updates. After the storm, remain cautious. Downed power lines and weakened trees are hidden dangers. Report hazards and give emergency crews space to work. Erin's winds, waves, and flooding demand respect and caution. The wildfire adds to the gravity of the situation. By staying informed and making smart choices, communities can weather the storm and begin recovery safely.